Hello, today we'll discuss some of the important developments in geopolitics in the last few weeks. Um, there's a new American empire about to be unleashed. Now, there's a method to this madness. Um, now, Trump, who's going to be president from January 20th, recently made some news by declaring he wanted to um, get hold of or somehow acquire the Greenland, for example, and Canada in some economic sense or geopolitical sense so that he could exercise better control, get better quality hegemony, let's put it that way, across the world to face the challenges that are upcoming to America, primarily from China, primarily from new sources, economic challenges as well as geopolitical challenges. Uh, so it's interesting that 100 years after the Monroe document, when the Western Hemisphere was primarily a protectorate of the US, when the US declared to the European powers, colonial powers, to stay away from the Western Hemisphere, not interfere with Central America or South America. We have a situation where the US is able to and trying to actively gets its hegemony beyond the Western Hemisphere, trying to get control of some very vital trade routes. And I wouldn't call it real estate, but primarily access to places that where you can monitor, from where you can monitor what's going on in the world and have influence over what happens in the world. So, this is where Canada and Greenland become important. Now, one thing we all need to recognize is that the Arctic Circle is a very vital piece of region where there is uh, no longer permanent ice that blocks travel, no longer permanent stretches of ice where you can't travel in winter. So, the Arctic route, the importance of the northern route through the Arctic, has become very vital and is going to be more and more important in the future, in the coming trade wars. Now, how does it matter to the US? And what is this Arctic route all about? Uh, China has already tried to get its ships through the Arctic region, probably with the help of Russia, even in summer for sure, sometimes in winter. It's not easy getting through in winter in ships when more ice forms and it's kind of unpredictable in nature. But definitely through the summer months, there's a clear route that one can chart through the Arctic Circle. Now, you might say, what is the big deal about it? Just think about it. If you have to go from Europe, say from Germany to Japan for trade reasons or security reasons, and if you go via the Arctic Circle, taking the Arctic route, you can save 3 to 5 days compared to the traditional route, the Suez Canal. Saving 3 to 5 days on a ship is amazing. It's a great savings, shorter route, safer route. Uh, don't have to negotiate the hassles of going through the Middle East and all the bombs and the Houthis and the missiles and so on. So it's very vital to have a presence there. And if you look at the map from the top and from the around the Arctic Circle, there are 5 or 6 nations with excellent exposure to the Arctic Circle that can essentially control what happens there. Canada, of course, is there, so is Greenland, and so is Norway to some extent. And the big chunk of the Arctic region, the sea there, is primarily a space where Siberia extends, and Russia has, I would say, more than 40% of the land around the Arctic Circle. So, having a presence there, having control over some of the routes is vital for the future of USA, to the future of trade of the USA. That is why Trump is suggesting to Canada that it become the 51st state of the USA. Similarly, he's making um, it very hard for Greenland to say no to providing not only services like it does for the US Navy and military up there. It has a permanent presence in Greenland. The USA has had it for a long time, but actual control and access to Greenland um, is, appears to be vital to the USA for the future. Now, if that were to happen, um, then the hegemony of the US would extend far beyond what it was during the Monroe document, all the way up to Europe, the Baltics, all the way. It already has a great type of control through Guam and other places in the Pacific. It's got Diego Garcia, thanks to the British help in the Indian Ocean. Now, the Arctic Sea is where the next pushing and shoving is going to be. And so, welcome to the new American empire. There's one being made right now. We'll see it in fruition very likely in a few years. And so, it's all about hegemony, and which is the natural outcome of strong nations, the influence that they wield uh, when they get things done by other countries. So, the new American empire is going to be here soon. There's a method to Trump's madness. There's a method to the USA's madness, if you can call it that. So it's fun to watch it from a distance. It's going to be very nice to see how the world shapes up.